Welcome to Transformers fans, my name is Composite EnerJoe and today we bring you my review of the Transformers Titans Return Leader Class Overlord. Yep, Overlord. And no, these aren't two separate Transformers that combine into Overlord. Overlord is a very special case where he is one Transformer that can actually separate into two separate alt modes. Example here is a tank and a jet. And you'd think with all of the combination shenanigans that Transformers is known for, there'd be more characters who can do this, but this is actually quite rare. Very few Transformers can do this. I think the only other one I can think of is his repaint Sky Shadow, who's able to pull this off. But and then I can't really think of anybody else at the top of my head. But yeah, he's one bot that separates into two separate alt modes. Very interesting. And yeah, these are their vehicle modes. This tank mode, let me talk about the tank mode first. It's got nice bits of detail. It's got a nice little molded detail on top with the gun. Nicely designed. He's got 3 wheels, one here in the center and 2 here on the sides. And not bad. However, it doesn't really do anything else. It can roll quite nicely too, but that's about it. The turret doesn't move, barrel doesn't move. Oh, this hatch does open. And hey, look, a Titan Master. And this is where you would put a Titan Master. Right in there. Just put them in there and close up. Get your nail. And boom. That's where you put the Titan Master. And we just put them off to the side. And that's it for the tank. Really nothing else to do. I guess one thing to mention is that this kind of reminds me of a World War II tank. I don't know which one specifically, but it reminds me of something I once saw in a history book. So let's get on to the jet. So the jet mode is essentially just... It does like a couple extra things more than the tank. Like the cockpit does also open if you get your nail in there. Hey, look, another Titan Master. Yeah, you just put a Titan Master in there, close up, and that's it. So let's get him out and put him off to the side. And also he adds the this landing gear, which can go up, and that's about it. Oh, and the wings can these little side wings can move a little. Can also move a bit. And that's really it. Like, unfortunately, these vehicle modes don't really do much, but they do look cool. Oh, and this one kind of reminds me of an SR-71 Blackbird. Kind of cool, yeah. It's the color and the shape, I think. But yeah, that's what it reminds me of. And that's pretty much it. So, let's get on with transformation. First things first, I'm going to start with the tank because I have a little warning with this tank. Okay, as you can see... If you can see here, I have the actual barrel of the gun is elevated. It doesn't line up with this. That's because there's a little bit of a defect here. So here's my warning: do not push the barrel. See, you just pop it off like this. There. Do not push this all the way in. Do not do that. It will get stuck and it will be very, very difficult to pull back out. As you can see, I've already scratched up. Well, not. Scratched up the paint here on the actual gun handle because of the way that it's designed here. There's like little grooves here that's supposed to hold this in place, but either they did them backwards or they did them in a weird way where when you shove them in there, it's really hard to pull back out. So what I suggest doing is just you put them in there a bit, push it in slightly, and leave it like this. You're supposed to push it in on the way. That's what the instructions I think indicate, and that's what you're supposed to do. But it will get stuck, and it'll get jammed in there, and it'll feel like I felt like I'd almost break this every time I try to pull it out. I'd done it twice, and I almost felt like I was breaking this. So be very careful. Do not jam this all the way down. Just put it in just enough so that it holds in place, so that you can pull it out. That's my warning. So that's step 1. You pull out the weapon, and then we won't see this until robot mode. Well, no, until his next mode, because I'm not turning him into robot mode. Overlord actually has Overlord actually has depending how you view this, I'm gonna say what it says on the box. He's got 4 modes. He's got the jet mode and the tank mode that he separates into, and then he has a base mode and then his robot mode. However, you could make an argument that he's a triple changer because him separating these 2 modes could be considered one alt mode, depending on your viewpoint, because he does separate into both of these. He doesn't turn into this and then into this. He's both at the same time. But that's neither here nor there. In the box it says 4 modes, and he has a tank, a jet, a base, and then his robot. So I'm going to turn him into his base mode. So put this off to the side. Then we get to his this part. So what you do is that you separate this, separate the. Essentially, you gotta just cut them in half. There we go. Separate them like that. Then come down here and bring this whole thing out like so. Separate a bit. Then fold this down. Fold this down. Now for his base mode, all you have to really do is open this up and pull these little connectors out, which they serve a larger purpose, which I'll explain later. Well, when I combine them into his base mode, I'll explain what these connectors are for. And then for this part, you lift this piece up. I believe it's this way. Is it this way? Yeah, it's this way. And then you rotate this around like so. Oh no, then it's this way. Wait, okay, wait. I kind of see it now. Kind of see it now. It's like this. So it's like this. You have to have them be like this. And fold these pieces forward like so. And now we have the front part of the base mode. So then we go to this part. And all you have to really do, it's very minimal. You just have an extra couple steps. You gotta lift this part up. Like so. Lift this up like this. Fold this out. And then just... Oh, wait. Hold on. I forgot that does move. So, hey, hold on. So for the base mode, it has to be like this. Like that, because this goes into here. This whole thing goes into there, so you put this in here. Connects like so. Because I forgot that this thing can bend. And if you want, you can extend, you're not supposed to, but you can extend this out a bit. Just to sort of even them out. So you can extend these pieces out. To sort of balance them out if it doesn't seem right. So you can extend it like that. And you even rotate them if you want, but leave them like that. And we're almost getting a base mode in here. So, oops, getting a little bit tall. Let me back up a bit. There. The next thing you do is that you pop this assembly off. You pop this off. Oh, and I might as well show this little feature where there was an easier way to, if you're having trouble getting the cockpit open, you can separate the nose cone. You can pop it off. And what this allows you to do is to have a better grip on opening the cockpit and to open this lower part for the base mode. And then you just put this back on. And then you also have this backward. Oh, you also have to have this folded out as like a platform holder. And then you just reconnect it like so. And this is how you get the base mode ready. And there you go. This is Overlord's base mode. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Like, it doesn't really move, but it's pretty cool. Oh, it's missing one little touch, which is the gun. Just plugs into this hole here, which is that hole. So just sort of put it in there. And like I said, be careful with how far you jam that in there, because it might get stuck. So just doesn't have to be too much. Just in there so that it doesn't move. And there you go. Now the look is complete. That's his base mode. And if you want to see what the Titan Masters look in this, you can put a Titan Master up here. So there you go. He's holding on to, he's just there manning the stations. And you can just plug another one down here for good measure. And there you go. It's a little base mode. Kind of cool, kind of neat. Neat little feature. And fairly simple to get into. So there you go. So let me take the Titan Masters off. Take the barrel off, the cannon off. And now let's get to his actual robot mode, which from base mode is a little easier. Oh, and just one small thing to mention. These little connectors, they serve a function because there's a feature that I think Six Shot was the one, except Six Shot was the only I think Times Return leader that didn't have a base mode. But besides Six Shot and his repaint quick switch, all Times Return leader class figures have a base mode. And the base mode had connectors on them. Not like this, but they did have connectors on them. that allowed you to connect into either each other. I believe it was each other, or it allowed you to connect to the Titan class Fortress Maximus in his city mode. And the idea was that you'd have all of their base modes and just sort of interconnect them all to have a huge sort of a city former. Which is a really neat idea. I'll give them that. That's a neat idea. Even though I think the majority of the leader classes, only 2 of them I actually cared about. Six Shot and Overlord here. And that's it. Not even like Fortress Maximus that much. He's cool and all, but I honestly would have preferred Metroplex. But yeah, I didn't get Fortress Max, and I don't really plan on getting them. But yeah, just so you're aware, if you happen to have Fort Max or something, and you want to get and you get Overlord, these are the connectors so that you can connect them together. So then just fold them away, and fold them away. I just wanted to mention that because this is the only time you actually pull these out. Right, now let's get to his robot mode. So first, you pop this off. You have to close it back up, and then put it back like so. Well, actually, no, I won't, I'll put it back. All right, because then what you do now is that you lift this up, lift it up, lift it up. And then you fold, hold on, unlock those, untab the arms. And then, to get for clearance, so that you let this lean down, swing this down, then bring this up and connect it so that it holds it in place. So that for the legs, just rotate them around like so. There you go. Now we have the legs. Fold up the feet, and then back the heels. And then we have his feet, his legs ready, which essentially the tank part, what forms the tank is his lower half. If you didn't notice that already. So then for here you fold this down, this back, this down, this back. You already extended out the arms. Fold out the fists. Fold out the fists. And then for this part, take this whole assembly and fold it back like so. And then rotate for the head reveal. And there's Overlord. And yeah, fairly simple and really fun to transform him. Because of the unique way that he transforms, it's really fun. And let's get a close-up on his on the head sculpt. Which, let me just do it this way, because he's really big. This is a really nice head sculpt. Oh, and like Six Shot before him, the leader classes don't require the removal of his Titan Master, but he does have one. If you pop up the helmet, get your nail in there and pop him out. Whoops. Here we have Dreadnought. Well, this is Overlord's head. And then, here is Dreadnought. And they actually painted his face, which is pretty interesting. He has 4 separate colored coats of paint. It's really neat. It's more so than a lot of the other Titan Masters. Plus the head's actually pretty cool. And yeah, well, there you go. Let me get on with articulation, and then I'll start showing off some of his features, some of the things you can do with the robot mode. So head is on a swivel. Arm rotates 360 and goes in and out in like 2 separate places. There's like a hinge in here, so it allows you to sort of do this and then do that. As you notice, it's like 2 separate hinges. He's got an elbow, a swivel on top of the elbow. Wait, yeah, that's right. All right. Swivel there. If you want to, an in and out at the hand, but that's more for transformation. His legs are on universal joints. Still gotta look up if that's the right thing. Which you can do a really nice kick. Goes forward, out, forward. So he's got a swivel there at the thigh. So yeah, he's got the rotation there. It might as well be a ball joint. He's got a knee and an ankle pivot. And unlike Six Shot, sort of 3 degrees, 3 extreme degrees of ankles, this guy has variables. So you can actually get him in some poses. It's really nice. It's nice and smooth. It's not, 0, 3, 5. No, it's smooth. So you actually can get them in some pretty meaningful poses. Like so. you know, so to speak. So yeah, but yeah, you can have them. The ankle pivot actually works here, which was, I think, one of the biggest drawbacks for Six Shot, was that they could have done a better job on those ankles. But that aside, that's still a fantastic figure. And Overlord. So yeah, that's pretty much it for articulation. Let me center him a bit. Let's show off some of his features. So one thing you can do, and Demise will show this out of the way, if you pop off this thing, and you go in here, there's actually a little handle that's built in here. And what this is supposed to do, and if you look at the promotional art for this guy, you pop this off like this, and peg it in here. Not too much, because it has a tendency of popping off. You'll have Overlord with this massive shoulder armor, piece of shoulder armor right there. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't like how this looks. It doesn't look right. And what this is supposed to be a shoulder shield. That's what it's supposed to be. I mean, like, you can't even hold it or anything. So if you want to use this as shoulder sheet, as armor, there's only two ways to do this. You put it on his shoulders like that. You can also put it on the other one. There's a port for it as well. But there you go. You can do that. I don't particularly like it. However, there is, like I said, there is another way of using this piece as armor, which is actually pretty cool. You have this peg here, and then on his chest, there is a port right in the middle. You can put this right in the center of his chest to give him a bit of extra body armor. And I'm not gonna lie, this looks really neat. This doesn't look half bad. However, how I like to have them is just, I like having this pegged back here. I actually prefer it like this because I think this looks a lot more uniform. So there you go. He has his gun, which you can peg on either side of the shoulder, or just have him hold it in his hand like so. And there you go. Alright, now that's pretty much it for the features. Oh, and I didn't show this. He does have like this sideways knee thing for articulation, but that's more for his base mode than anything else. But if you want, you can give him sort of weak knees if you really want him to do that. So he does have one other really cool feature, which is, I will say, it's not 100%. Like, how do I say this? It's really cool. I really like it, but it just misses the mark of being a perfect execution. And that is, you can actually open these white chest panels, and you see these cavities here. I don't know if I can show them off. He's got these chest cavities here. And what those do is they house Titan Masters in their head modes. So convert them in their head modes, and you can just plug them in there. Just push them in there. There's one. Put the other one. Come on. Come on, you worked before. Hold on. Why aren't you working? We were able to go in there before. Hold on, let me see if this one wants to go. Hold on. It's supposed to be a really cool feature. Alright, there you go. He can go in there. But you can go in here. Come on. Come on, work with me. Why aren't you working? There we go. And there you have Overlord with 3 separate heads. And I like this feature. I think this is really cool. But there's one problem. You can't push this like all the way back in. It can't close. When you have something in those slots, it prevents the chest from actually closing. So it's like it's one of those. It's so close. Like, you were so close in having this feature be really cool, and it is. So like in any moment, he can just sort of whoops, you can swap heads. So you can swap heads whenever he needs to in order to like get different powers or something. There you go. That's with that head. Even though his original head looks the best, the Dreadnought looks the best with this Looks the best like most leader classes. It's that, and then we pop him out and just show off with this head. And there it is with that head. Yeah, they do look a bit small. Like, they went on a way to make the Dreadnought one look a lot bigger to fit the helmet a lot better. But there you go. So he can't have them with the chest cavity. Also, be careful. The heads might also jam in there, so be careful when putting them in his chest. But I will leave him in the chest mode. I'm not. Why do you cause me so much trouble? There we go. So I'll leave him in the chest mode because that I still like the idea. It looks really cool. So anyway, so there you have him with his chest. Let me just close him up, sort of, just to make him a little bit more decent. So yeah, that's it. That's all of the features, articulation, and things about Overlord. In terms of interesting trivia, I already mentioned the base mode thing where it can combine with the other base modes and with Fort Max. I'll say that he himself is a repaint and pretty extensive retool of the Titan's Return Leader Class Sky Shadow. And that's really that's pretty much it. So what do I think of this figure? Fantastic. Like I said before, he was one of two leader classes that I really cared about getting for the Titan's Return line. I didn't care about any of them except for him and Six Shot. So, do I recommend him? Heck yeah, I do. He's fantastic. And like I said, my biggest complaint, which is not much, just my biggest complaint, is that this feature here, I would have liked if they maybe made the actual cavity in there a little bigger, so that you could actually close his chest. That's about it. I would like it if he was able to close the chest with the heads in there. And that's about it. So yeah, fantastic figure, highly recommend him. So yeah, this has been my review of the Transformers Titan's Return Leader Class Overlord, and I guess with a little Dreadnought as well. And this is Composite EnerJoe signing off. Peace out.